Hey everybody, welcome back to Mentally a Badass. My name is Justine, and today we have the co-founder of Mentally a Badass, Ariel. You guys may know her from the graphics that she posts, the blogs that she writes. So today we are doing a little fun episode. We're playing a game. We're doing Never Have I Ever, Mental Health Edition. So we're going to be doing a bunch of them, and this is going to be a fun opportunity for you guys to really, get to know us. You guys know us from Instagram, but we just want you guys to, get closer to us. So yeah, Ariel, welcome to the podcast. I'm glad to finally have you on.
Hey, I'm excited.
Okay, so let's get right into Never Have I Ever. I'm going to pick the first one. Okay. Never have I ever had a relapse in my addiction recovery journey. Well, I never had addiction recovery.
I've never had one either.
Yeah, we never had addiction, so we'll both. Okay.
Go right on to the next one.
Yes. All right, your turn, Ariel.
Never have I ever had a reoccurring nightmare related to my mental health.
Oh,
We were just talking
yeah,
about that.
yeah, I have nightmares literally almost every. I actually had one last night.
Oh, from the movie?
No, it wasn't from the movie. I had a nightmare last night that my boyfriend left me.
Oh no.
I know.
That's so sad.
Yeah. So I was so that was kind of more a minor one. Sometimes I'll have severe ones where a demon is attacking me. But one time I had a nightmare that a priest was putting me on fire. Yeah, I know, kind of dark. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no.
But yeah, no. But yeah, the last time I had one was minor, and I texted my boyfriend this morning. And I was like, I had a dream that you cheated on me. She was like, I never do that. I'm like, okay.
Oh. That's so sad. I
Yeah.
have not, because luckily I can kind of control my dreams.
You can control your dreams?
Yeah, so it's mostly a lot of it I use for my writing too. It's just
Oh, really? Do you have a dream journal?
not really. Well, I guess because on my notes app I just kind of really quickly write
True.
ideas, but not this is what I dreamt of kind of thing. But yeah, my dreams are usually very pleasant.
I'm
lucky.
so jealous of you. My goodness. Oh, wow, this is nice. Never have I ever been diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
It just called you out.
It did. It literally did, because I have bipolar disorder, and part of living with bipolar is having recurrent nightmares a lot. So I was like, oh, that's so weird how the universe gave me this one. So yeah, this is fun. I like doing this.
Never have I ever used medication as a long-term solution for my mental health. I will say no, because I haven't had any medication or anything for mental health.
Yeah, I have. I was on medication on and off medication since I was 17, but right now I'm currently not on medication for mental health. Okay. Never have I practiced self-compassion in difficult times.
I would hope so. I definitely try. I mean,
Yeah.
of course there's some times that you're you should be kinder to yourself.
Yeah.
You're not just beating yourself up.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to do that more and stop the negativity.
Yeah, I did today. I was like, Ariel, why are you so negative, Nancy?
I'm doing that.
Yeah, because we were supposed to be going on at 3 o'clock today, and it just started downpouring. So and you're like, oh, can I see that? I'm like, Ariel.
Never have I ever had a mental health day off from work or school. Oh, interesting. I don't think I labeled it as mental health. I was just I don't feel well. Can I please stay home? Kind of thing. I definitely have stayed home, but it wasn't referred to as that.
Yeah, I would say in my head it was a mental health day, but I just with work I didn't have to be explain why I'm calling out. I mean, you call out for a sick day, but I wouldn't be I'm calling out for a mental health day. But yeah, no, I've done that way multiple times. But what I need to do better is taking more mental health days as my own boss.
Yeah, that's
what I struggle with right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Never have I ever reached out for support from a friend or a loved one.
That'd be sad if you don't.
I did. I reached out to you over that time,
Okay,
and then
I was that's such a sad question. Imagine people who don't have someone to reach out to.
And there's people out there that don't have that. And then they, that's why we do what we do, is so people, people reach out to us sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm totally cool with that, But I definitely have. I mean, I reached out to you one time. I was like, can I stay with you for a week? My mental health is shit. And you're like, okay.
Here you go. Here's bed.
Here's the bed. Oh, wait, yours.
Never have I ever experienced a traumatic event. Dun, 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 dun. I would say yes.
Yeah. I have.
Definitely like near-death experiences, like in car accidents kind of thing. Like luckily it didn't happen, but that was like traumatic. And then like of course like the passing.
You live in Florida, so it's supposed to happen like every day.
I know.
Anytime you're like on the road in Florida.
And it was on I-4, yes, it was on I-4.
They call it die for.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Have you ever heard that saying?
No, I feel like I've heard it be called something else.
Really?
But yeah, I just avoid I-4 like.
Really? Oh wow. 'Cause,
luckily I'm on this side down, so I don't have to.
Yeah. All right. Never have I ever had a relapse in my mental health journey. I definitely have.
Yeah, I think that's normal. Like,
yeah,
it's just gonna happen. It's something that you live with for the rest of your life, essentially.
It's so sad to think of it like that. But I feel like I really think there's once in the beginning, when you're in the beginning of your journey, it's more normal to just keep relapsing. But then I feel like it does get easier when you really rewire your brain.
Yeah, because you kind of fall back in those bad habits.
Right. I feel
it's
like
comfortable.
I feel like my last hardcore relapse was in college. And that was how long ago? 6 years ago.
It's so far away now.
Yeah, I mean, I still have my moments, of course. I have my bad days. I have but I'd say my worst one was probably then. Yeah. I said my your turn, right? Yeah.
Never have I ever struggled with low self-esteem. Come on, yes. Come on now.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've really met anybody who's never struggled with low self-esteem.
Because even celebrities struggle with it.
Oh, especially I feel like celebrities are one of the biggest people who would struggle with it because, especially with the internet these days and social media, back when people were celebrities, I guess they'll see the articles people write about them, but they don't really hear too much of what the public would say.
Yeah, now they get tagged and it's
yeah,
you're I just want to scroll through Instagram and it's now everyone's tagging you with pictures of you trying to eat a burger or something, I don't know.
Yeah, or on TikTok, when you're just scrolling on TikTok and you just see videos of yourself.
Or memes, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely 100 times worse now. Why can't we just all be kinder to each other?
I don't know. I think people get bored and they're also happy with their own lives.
True. Never have I... Interesting.
We were just talking about this one too.
Never have I ever attended a mental health conference or workshop. We haven't, but we want to.
Yeah, we
literally was just talking so much about what we want to do with the brand, and Ariel's husband was why don't you guys go to a conference or a workshop? And we're that's not a bad idea, but we're just trying to see if there was anything in Orlando, but so far we haven't seen anything that really was a good fit.
Yeah.
Because some of it was kind of more towards therapists and psychiatrists going, and I mean it makes sense, but I feel like we need to go to one where it's just people like us. We're not medical professionals. We're just two girlies on social media wanting to be there for you and comforting, and we have our own experience that we share, and so if there's gonna be a conference out there that'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, a workshop.
Never have I ever had a social anxiety episode.
I feel like you probably do more than I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I do have social anxiety, but it depends where I am. It depends on the environment for me, I feel like.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, I feel like if I don't know, I think it's just an energy thing. I don't know. It's weird with me, but it's kind of, I feel like I'm an introvert and extrovert at the same time.
Yeah. I know for me, definitely, it's when I was younger, it was worse. Now, at least I have the knowledge to understand, why I'm feeling that way kind of thing. But, the story of me.
Yeah.
When I was in elementary school, I went to a Catholic school, and pretty much every day they were you have to go to school. And I was nah, because worst anxiety.
Yeah.
And they would like try to drag me off. Like literally a nun was like trying to.
A nun was trying to drag you?
And then I kicked this nun because I was so anxious. I was like, I cannot. It felt like if I went another day, I was gonna die. Yes.
How come I don't remember you telling me the story?
I don't know.
You kicked the nun? Oh my god.
I'm like,
Wait, how old are you?
I don't know. I always feel like I say 8. Like that's like when the most traumatic things happen.
Oh my goodness, that's so crazy. You were feisty.
Not really. I mean, it was the same. I was super quiet, but it was like that was.
Well, they don't come kicking me.
That was like the one time where it was like flight or fight kind of thing, and it's like you're not allowing me to hide.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, don't let me go.
Actually, I totally get that. All right, never have I ever had an eating disorder. So, I mean, I was never diagnosed with one.
Yeah. I want to say no, but I definitely like have like a hard relationship with food, especially with my health issues. You know? Yeah,
it's kind of like hard to know if it's like an eating disorder or if it's just because of your physical issues that you experience, like medically. For me, like when I was in 2017, when I first moved here to Florida, I was having like a lot of weight issues that I actually like never spoke about. I was like getting underweight. Like I was hitting like almost 99.
Oh wow.
And I didn't talk about it to literally anybody because I was like, I don't know what the heck is going on. And I was like so scared. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna like be anorexic? And I thought it was just like my crazy schedule with working, like working at Test Track, and it's like also when we were going to Test Track, you're standing for like 8 hours and constantly going back and forth, this and that, so you're constantly exercising. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, maybe because my food like schedule is up because like, they'll have you working like closing and then opening and then closing and then, have like all over the place. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just kept losing weight. And then that was like during my YouTube era. And then I like look at videos of myself and I'm like, oh my God, like, yeah, so I don't know. I'm not like, I don't have that problem anymore, but I don't know if I was ever an eating disorder. No idea.
Never have I ever practiced gratitude journaling. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I have done that. I've bought journals like dedicated to that, mm-hmm. but I feel like I have a habit of like doing it for a month and then kind of like trailing off.
Yeah. I feel like I've done it and then I just like stopped and I should keep doing it more. It's really hard to be really consistent on doing that. Yeah. All right, never have I ever used art or creativity as a coping mechanism.
Yay, I do that every day.
I mean, our brand is filled with creativity. Like, I mean, she does all of the graphics, I do the video content, it's all creativity, and it's literally coping for us too.
It really is.
Like
sometimes when I'm about to do a post, I'm like, what have I gone through today? Like,
no,
what
seriously.
would I want to see? Like,
what's crazy in my mind is sometimes, like, if I'm going through something, I'm like, oh, crap, I'm going through something like this stuff. I'm like, this would be good content though.
I know, right?
I'm like, it's kind of like a sad way of thinking, but it's like, okay, I'm going through something. Let me just like really take it in and write it all down so I can be a video later. Like,
yeah, it's like. It's good, but then it's also exhausting because then it's like, stop thinking about videos, stop thinking about content.
But it's also like, I feel like if I'm at a good point of my life, I'm like, which is good, but I'm like, okay, well, what's my next video about? Because the videos that do well on our account are the ones where it's like, I'm being very like raw with what I experience. So, and I also like, I mean, I could make videos where it's like about something that I don't personally experience, but it's something that people still relate to and you really are just acting. But then part of me is like, oh, I don't want to feel like, I want people, because I think too, sometimes I get people reaching out to me being like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. Like, it's just, I want to be, because the thing is, the content that does really well, like how sad it sounds, is like depressing content. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just because people are hurting and people are probably, on social media, finding something that they can feel heard and relate to. So that's why the content is so well. So I always have to kind of like do content where it's kind of like dark, but I mean, I like it to help people, but also I'm like, okay, I have to keep constantly thinking of dark content and staying creative with it. And it's like if I do like a video about, let's say, schizophrenia, like I don't have that.
Yeah.
you know?
It's hard to...
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully people will understand after following us that the count is ran by 2 people, but we're here to make content to help others, but it's not like this necessarily mean we're going to go through every single thing that we post, you know?
Yeah.
But I talk to a lot of people who do experience these things, and that's kind of how I learn, which is, through the podcast.
I feel like that's really interesting when you said, like, having to kind of, not having to do dark things, but that's what relates most to people.
Yeah.
Because I feel like singers have that same issue where
True.
they're, like, gone through a breakup and they make a whole album and
Right.
everyone's like, we want more breakup, but it's like, why do you want me miserable?
Yeah, actually, Olivia Rodrigo said that, because like her whole album was pretty much all about the whole breakup and everything. And then she was in an interview, she was like, because the album did so well,
Yeah.
because people are relating and everything. And she was like, well, man, like, this stinks. Like, I don't want to be miserable my whole life.
Yeah, and I think, like, Sam Smith had that and Adele.
Oh,
they
yeah?
both had, like, because then they put out their next album and it's happy and everyone's like, oh, I want to cry. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Never have I ever had trouble sleeping due to mental health issues. Dun, 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 dun.
Me, always.
I feel like sometimes, like, if I'm, like, really stressed, then I just sit awake.
I have a hard time staying asleep. Like, that's my problem.
Yes.
It's like, I feel like, sometimes I have a hard time going to sleep too, but I feel like it's just the staying asleep part is like, oh my god, like every 1 hour to 2 hours, I'm always waking up, tossing and turning, and I'm like, it's like the worst thing ever. And then when I'm asleep, I'm having a nightmare.
Yeah. I feel like that happens to me. Like, I wake up, like, every hour and I'm like, oh, stop.
Yeah.
Or I'll go to sleep and then wake up and I won't feel rested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the worst too. Never have I ever self-harmed. I have.
I have not.
That's nice.
I feel like definitely because I hate needles and, like, just hurting myself in general, so I'm just like, ah.
Yeah. Well, part of my, like, disorder is, like, that is one of the symptoms. But yeah, I don't anymore, but I used to.
Never have I ever practiced self-care regularly.
I feel like I do.
I don't know if I do it. Like,
Well, I
all
feel
the
like
time.
right now you're doing a great job of self-care, like how you, when you quit a job that was, like, really horrible for your mental health, like, that's, like, the biggest, like, self-care thing that you can do.
Yeah, and thank God, luckily, I have my husband to kind of, like, help us stay afloat.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people don't have that, and they're not able to really.
To quit, yeah, because at the end of the day, like, money keeps people alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember it was a very, it's like him and I both were convincing you.
You're like,
because it was because, I felt really bad, like how miserable you were, especially when it was making worse on your health. And I'm like,
yeah.
you need to, you and I were very lucky that we were both able to both leave our jobs because we do have, like, supportive people in our lives. So, I wish we should, like, run, like, a nonprofit for people who, like, need to leave their jobs for, like, mental health.
Oh my God,
That would be a pretty
I
good
love that.
nonprofit idea, actually.
I really would
To help
love
people
that.
leave their toxic jobs.
I would love to, like, sneak in a job that we know is toxic. Like, someone's like, this job is toxic. So you, like, pretend, like, oh, I'm fine. And then you, like, get them.
Oh, man.
Documentaries.
Awesome. Right? Oh my god, it's like catfishing toxic jobs.
Yes. Oh, that'd be great. Well, like, you guys need to do better. Like, do you understand how you're harming these people?
Yeah. Never have I ever practiced deep breathing exercises. I have. I'm not, like, consistent with it, but I have.
Yeah, I have. I feel like the first time I was really introduced to that was in college. We did that for actually in an acting class, which it was so nice and relaxing.
Do I hear something funny?
Uh-oh.
So, when I was in college, I did a human resource internship, and they had me, like, literally, like, lead a meditation class.
Oh.
Yeah, it was kind of like a mental health thing for employees. So I think the reason I was doing the HR, like, internship, actually, by the way, I really hated it because it was just like, it was so typical, like, filing, like, doing, like, paperwork and filing. It was just really killing my vibe. And I think, like, I said to them, I was, like, basically being like, I want to do more. Like, I want to just be sitting all day just, like, filing things from, like, 1980 something, It was, like, something like that. It was like, archived, like, documents, and they were like, oh, can you go, fix this. And it was like literally piles and piles. I feel like I was on a freaking TV show. I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing like the typical intern thing. So I think I said something, I was like, I want to do something more. Like, and then they're like, oh, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, mental health's important to me. And they're like, oh, you want to do like a meditation class for our employees? And I was like, okay. So they literally like had me like, dude, I was literally doing them. I think about this now. Like, I was literally running a meditation class for like random people that worked for a company for like gynecologists.
That is very random. And they enjoyed it? They had fun?
Yeah, they said they liked it. It helped them be stress free. And I was like, this is so interesting.
I don't know. Maybe you should have some classes, like lives.
Remember I was doing ASMR on YouTube for like a hot minute?
Yes,
and I did so well.
Mm-hmm, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never have I ever struggled with anxiety. I don't think we touched on that a little bit, so yes.
Honestly, reality, everybody like struggles with anxiety these days. Like, the world is so stressful.
Yeah.
Unless you live like Amish. Like you're just kind of like away.
You're like, yes, give me the stress.
Yeah, unless you're like Amish and you're just like milking cows all day, like life's stressful.
But even then, I assume they probably deal with their own stresses and stuff.
True, yeah. Never have I ever taken medication. Didn't we just get this one?
I think I was saying long term before.
Oh, well, yes, I've taken medication for mental health reasons. Ariel hasn't.
Yeah. Dun dun dun. Uh-oh. I got a spicy one.
Oh, spicy.
Never have I ever been hospitalized due to mental health reasons.
So I haven't been hospitalized for mental health reasons, but I did go to the hospital in the ER because I thought something was wrong with me. But then the guy was like, yeah, you probably just had a panic attack. And I was like, oh.
I feel like I've had a similar situation where I was like, oh my God, my chest really hurts. And they're like, checked everything. They're like, you're fine. That was also like a few months after my dad had passed away.
Oh.
So we were like, we don't want to go to the hospital.
Right.
But they were like, you're probably just dealing with that. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because that's a really upsetting situation. Never have I ever used exercise as a way to improve my mental health. I have. I have a trainer now.
Oh, nice.
And it does help. Yeah, no, it does help a lot. I also just like feel confident in myself. I'm like, ooh, I'm toned.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. It like really helps with confidence, and then you do feel good afterwards. I mean, while you're doing it, you're like, my body hurts. But afterwards, it's like, oh, nice.
What was that? I don't know. The gym that I go to has like a sauna. So so me and Regan always have a routine. We'll go do weights for like 30 to 40 minutes, and then we'll do cardio, and then we'll do a massage chair, and then we do the massage, and then we go to the sauna.
Wait, so they have people there in the massage table that just massage you?
Oh, it's just like one of like a hydro massage thing, so you like lay in the bed and like it's like for 10 minutes and it goes like up and down. It's supposed to like help with like muscle recovery. Yeah, it's like part of our membership. We got the highest membership because we wanted that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and the sauna with the sauna too. So it's really, we look forward to like our routine.
That's nice, because, yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, the workout might be hard, but at least we get to do this afterwards.
I'm not really into the work. I mean, oh my gosh, my personal trainer, he would like some of her sessions would be good, easy, and some would be like, I'll be like looking at him and be like, I hate you.
Do you want to,
yeah.
pass out today?
I literally like almost passed out once, and then like Regan like was like almost like threw up once. Like he was like spitting in a garbage because like they were like he was like really like making us go. But it's like I'm glad he did that because we need it, And it's like once you get pushed that hard, it's kind of like everything else is like okay, we kind of broke through that wall.
Yeah.
And everything else is just like easier.
Well, never have I ever felt suicidal.
I have.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. I love we just like okay, that's it. That's all I need to know. Okay. Never have I ever had a phobia. I feel like I have.
Yeah.
I feel like I have like spider phobias and like cockroaches and like snakes and like things like that. Sometimes I actually even have a phobia of an elevator.
Oh, yeah, I mean, when you start to think about it, it's like, I hope this doesn't get stuck and drop.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be in the Tower of Terror.
I think mine's is really heights. It's a big one. Like sometimes when I'm high high up and like I can't go near the edge or I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
I feel like that too, but also I just feel like I still do it just because it's cool.
Yeah, I still go. Well, I used to go on roller coasters. Now I feel like I have a phobia of roller coasters.
Oh, really?
I was on. I don't know if I'm allowed to say which roller coaster this was. A roller coaster here in Orlando, and it just felt super shaky because the first time I went on it, it was so smooth and
Really?
nice.
Which one?
And the music was playing, so you probably know which one it is now.
Is it Rockin' Roller Coaster?
Yeah.
Wait, it was shaky? I feel like
Yeah.
it's supposed to kind of be like that.
Well, when I first went on it was so smooth and like I picked a song. It was nice.
You
and
picked the
relaxed.
song?
Yeah, you get to pick your song.
I think you're talking about it. You're not talking about the Disney one. You're talking about the one in Universal.
Oh yeah,
Okay, I've never been on that one.
Oh, yeah,
Never
that's
mind.
Rick Rocket. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I never went on that one. I was too scared to go on that one.
Yeah, but then like when I went on it again later on, it was super rocky, and I was like, please not to let me die on this. And then also, I think during Halloween Horror Nights, it got stuck a bunch of times. So I was like, I'm gonna assume it's my turn.
Yeah, I think I don't even know. Okay.
Never have I ever sought therapy or counseling.
Oh, I have multiple times.
I actually have never.
Really?
Yeah.
You never been to therapy?
No, I feel like in the beginning of this year, or definitely when I was at work, I was looking for a therapist, but I like never found one, and then started feeling better. And then I never went back to looking,
Oh,
but I
my
definitely
goodness. I had no idea. All right, let's see. No, something. Okay. Never have I ever participated in a mental health research study. I actually never have. I would love to have to participate in a mental health research.
I feel like I've done a study, but I don't think it was mental health related. Back in
Wait, hold
college.
on. Someone saw me at Walmart.
What?
When was I at Walmart? I don't know. When was the last time I was at Walmart? Last time I was at Walmart, I was like in. Well, I don't want to be telling people where I'm going, where I live, so. But. Okay. Anyway, moving on. I got distracted by the TikTok live
like, you
conversation.
see me at Walmart.
Okay, let's do this.
Never have I ever participated in a mental health awareness campaign.
I don't know. Like, do we call our own thing like mental health awareness campaigns? Like, I don't think we have. We did like. I mean, we actually have one that we want to plan together.
Yeah.
We're waiting on like another person to see if they want to accept our collaboration idea. So I guess that would be considered a mental health awareness campaign.
I think so, but we haven't done it yet.
Yeah. I feel like our whole thing is like mental health awareness campaign.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Does that count? I feel like it counts, but not.
But it's
quite.
not like a project from start to finish
Yeah,
kind of thing.
it's just
Yeah.
ongoing.
It's just ongoing. Never have I ever been diagnosed with depression. I have, but I mean, you said you never been to therapy.
Yeah, so
So
I've
you were never
been-
like ever like legally diagnosed with anything then, right?
No, I would assume that I have like depression, anxiety.
It's also different types of depression.
Yeah.
There's seasonal depression. There's like clinical depression. Then there's like depression that can stem from like lack of nutrition. There's so much, and there's depression that comes from trauma. Yeah, I could do like a whole episode about that, like different types of depression. If you guys want that, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll make one.
Never have I ever experienced dissociation or depersonalization.
I feel like I have. Because like dissociating is kind of like when you kind of like lose touch of reality and you're kind of just like there, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm like. Well, I feel like every form of dissociation that I feel like everyone has experienced to an extent is like when you're driving, you know, and you're like, oh wait, how did I get there?
Oh, I'm home already.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like dissociation, but I think it's really more asking like if you just kind of like experience on a regular basis, like you're just kind of like, you know, I don't know. But depersonalization, like what is? I guess that's like. If you say it's more like.
I can't remember if that's the one that's kind of because like I have this where I feel like I'm kind of floaty. I call it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't feel completely out of my body, but I feel like I'm just going through the motion. Not even going through the motions. Like it feels very numb.
Interesting. Okay, let's see. Never have I ever struggled with. Let me try this again. Never have I ever struggled with body image. I have.
Yes, I have too.
Yeah.
See, I feel like we had similar experiences where like I believe we were talking about this before. How like in high school we were very like fit and stuff like that, and then it's like as you get older you start to gain weight.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're younger everyone's like you're too skinny, and then when you start gaining weight you're like, oh, I wish I was weight
Right.
before, but it's like you can't fully go back to when you were a teenager just because our bodies
Right.
grow.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, you're right. You can't like go back to like a teenager body, but you could like go back to being like fit if you really like train and eat better and stuff like that. And I mean, I gained like in the pandemic, I gained a lot of weight, and I think it was just the whole like working from home. Okay, what was I saying again?
You can get back to being fit, but
Yeah, but you're never gonna like look like a teenage self, but you can definitely do things to kind of, you know, keep yourself looking younger and not aging as fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always try to be like, instead of how much do I weigh, is how am I feeling, and like, do I have more energy, and more of, am I eating something that's going to make me healthier, not like, I want to eat this because I want to be skinnier. Like, I try not to think like that.
I try not to as well. It's just like so like hard, and I feel like it's just like I mean, it's mostly like in women. I mean, men of course do. I'm sure they do with body image as well. But it's like with women, I feel like our bodies are always constantly changing throughout the month too, because just like the hormonal stuff.
Yes.
So it's like I'll be like, oh wow, I'm like flat stomach and skinny, and it's like, oh, I'm bloated, probably because of my hormones, and that's another thing. It's just, yeah, it's rough to like not think like that, especially with social media too, and we see like all these like models and such on TikTok, and I'm like shaking their butt, and I'm like,
yeah, I think it's the worst. Like what you're saying, like our bodies do change throughout the month. And I remember being in college and being like, starting to gain some weight from when I was like, because I used to play basketball 24/7. So
are you
like,
a b-baller?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
So I was like starting to gain weight, and I was like, oh, you know, whatever. But I remember I was like on my period and I was super bloated.
I'm sorry. This chair. How about you redo that, because the podcast is just going to be hearing that, and then it's going to be like, what is going on? Can you repeat yourself about your b-balling days?
Okay.
Okay.
So, I used to play a basketball player. Okay. So I used to play basketball, and I was very thin because I was literally playing basketball 24/7, like every day. When I got into college, that's when I finally stopped playing basketball. So I was starting to gain some weight, and I remember being on my period and being bloated, and like one of my friends was like looking at me suspiciously. I also had a boyfriend at the time, so they were like, "Are you pregnant?" And I'm like, "No."
That's so mean.
Bloated. I'm like, I'm literally on my period right now. They're like, "So what? You can still be pregnant?" I'm like, "What is happening? Like, stop." I think that's the worst. Like, women constantly have to worry about someone being like, "Are you pregnant?"
That is so, like, honestly, if I see any woman that's like may or may not be pregnant, I never ever say anything. Yeah. Like, the person could literally be like about to pop, and I still won't say anything, because you never know.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like, why are we? It's like, I feel like back in the day, like people would be like, "Oh, congratulations!" They're like, "Baby, congratulations!" Like, it's like, and again, it's like you don't know. There's so many people who have like certain diseases out there that may make them look pregnant, but they're really not.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's really hard. I just let people tell me when they're pregnant, and that's it.
Yeah.
Never have I ever felt ashamed of my mental health struggles. I did, like, when I was like in high school, but now I'm not. Now I'm like open and very open about my mental health struggles.
I make videos on the daily.
I make videos on the daily talking about my mental health.
I think, yeah, everyone probably, when they were younger, felt ashamed just because the stigma and not enough education about it. And also, you were feeling these things and there was no words to explain it at the time. People were just like, why do you feel like that?
I feel like the only time I feel ashamed if it's like messing with like a relationship that I have. Or if it's like I feel like I'm being annoying, I feel like I'm being too much, like I think that's when I still kind of deal with that. But when it comes to like, I don't feel ashamed like going like, for example, here on TikTok Live, on my podcast and talking about my struggles, like that's like what I guess I just don't care if strangers know, you know?
That is interesting too, because I feel like I'm more likely to share stuff with strangers versus people that you know.
Yeah.
It's like, I wonder what the psychology behind that is.
Probably because of the change you may never see them again.
True. And then it's like someone you know could judge you, and then you're like, oh,
and it's like I feel like you'll ruin the relationship. Yeah.
That makes sense. Never have I ever attended a support group for mental health. I have not, but I think we kind of talked about that. Like, we kind of wanted to do that in the future.
Yeah, I guess a support group. I think that means like
Oh, like
if you're going through
actual,
something.
like,
Yeah, no, I never did. I've wanted to, but I just never like actually done it because all of them lately are online, and I just like rather do that stuff in person than just be on a Zoom call. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's interesting how everything has changed now.
Yeah, definitely. Never have I ever experienced post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't know, honestly, if I have. I've never been diagnosed with it, but I feel like I could be on the edge a lot, and sometimes things will like startle me. Certain things, I don't know. I don't know if that's considered PTSD, because when people think of PTSD, they think of like war, but I'm like,
Yeah, but it's not always.
It's not just war.
Never have I ever attended a therapy session with a partner or family member.
No, I never have. I feel like maybe I will down the road though.
Yeah, I never have either.
I feel like it's healthy if like needed, of course, but no, I never have.
I guess it could be awkward if like your family member is kind of like in denial.
True.
Doesn't really want to be there.
Yeah. Never have I ever struggled with OCD. I would say no.
Yeah, I would say no too.
I would say sometimes I'll have like some tendencies where I'll be like, oh my god, I locked the door, like something like that. But I never like, I'm not like I know you're kind of perfectionist, but I don't think it's really.
I don't think it's to that extent.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, this is not even, or like the door thing. Like I get really, I'll be driving. I'm like, did I shut my door?
Yeah.
Never have I ever used a mental health app or online resource.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of different apps now.
Yeah.
Which is really
Okay.
Never have I ever felt hopeful about my mental health journey.
I have felt hopeful.
It's like, again, another sad one. Like, you don't feel hopeful? Of course, you should always feel hopeful. It's going to be difficult at first. But
yeah, of course.
every day is a challenge. But some days are
like really good, and some days are really bad. That's just kind of how it is. Yeah. Never have I ever experienced a panic attack. I have.
Yeah, I have too.
Maybe I have like twice. No, maybe 2 or 3 times. One time I was hospitalized for it. Yeah.
Never have I ever struggled with addiction or substance abuse. I have not.
No, I wouldn't say I had a problem. I was able to like stop if like like alcohol and stuff like that. Like that was pretty much it. If anything, I noticed I was drinking too much, I'd be like, I was able to stop before it got too bad.
I was like, let's like sugar and caffeine counts, which I have let go of both of them. But I mean, that also a lot of people are addicted to caffeine and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, we've been getting a lot of people trying to join our live. Due to since we are doing like a podcast right now, we are not going to be accepting anybody, but maybe we'll accept after we finish everything. Maybe we'll accept one person at the end, just for like a little bit, if you guys want to chat with us. But just for now, give us about maybe like 10-15 more minutes if you're still here. Never have I ever been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. I haven't been like fully diagnosed with it, but when I was being diagnosed with bipolar, they're like, oh, we see you may have BPD, but we're like not 100% sure.
Okay. I have not, but I remember you saying that story. Never have I ever felt stigmatized because of my mental health.
I feel like we all have. I don't know, that's just me.
Yeah, I feel like society in general, I don't know like the people in my life, because again, I haven't like really been diagnosed with anything, so I guess they wouldn't have the chance to.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, society in general.
Yeah, true. Never have I ever used positive affirmations to boost my mood. I definitely have.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just doing that right before we got onto this podcast.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's so nice. And we definitely have a lot of posts dedicated to that as well. Never have I ever had a loved one support me during a mental health crisis.
I have.
Yeah, definitely have.
Yeah.
Again, that's one that's like, it's sad to think that people don't have someone in their life that they can kind of turn to.
Okay, let's see. Never have I ever sought alternative therapies for mental health issues. I definitely have. I would do like Kava. Talk to you about Kava, CBD, weed and things like that. Like that would help a lot with like my anxiety and boosting my mood. So I would say that'll be like an alternative, not like a traditional like treatment.
Okay. I don't know if like meditation and stuff counts, or like kind of writing it, like journaling, and also writing experiences into stories.
Yeah, that's true.
Never have I ever practiced mindfulness or meditation. I love how we were just talking.
I definitely have. I'm not like successful. I mean, mindfulness I'm definitely very big on. Meditation, I'm not like consistent with it or anything like that.
How's your experience with mindfulness? Because I do find, like, sometimes it comes easy. It's not supposed to be easy, but a lot of times I'm just like so hyper aware that I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Being hyper aware that you're doing something wrong?
I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just like, it's like I know that I'm doing it. Sometimes I feel like this way with exercising too. It's like, you know that you're supposed to be lifting weights to like make your muscles bigger, but then it's like you're hyper aware that you're doing it, so it's just like awkward kind of. I don't know.
You're aware that you're doing? Well, I'm confused.
I don't know. I don't think I'm explaining it very well.
Okay, let's see here. Never have I ever engaged in self-sabotaging behaviors due to mental health struggles. Yeah, definitely have.
I would say yeah. Never have I ever felt isolated due to my mental health. I would say yeah.
I would say I've had moments like that, not recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like the feeling of no one else understands, but it's mostly because you're not. It's somewhat like you're not communicating with other people so that they can understand. It's like that, oh, no one's gonna understand, I'm gonna tell them, and they're gonna think I'm weird, and then it's kind of like, self-isolate yourself.
Yeah, and then also it's like you feel like you're gonna be like you're like a burden, so you kind of just like hide. Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I do. When I have like my moments, I just kind of like hide in my room. Never have I ever struggled with body dysmorphia. Dysmorphia. I feel like sometimes I have, but I don't really know if it is it. Like I never like talked about it with like a therapist or anything like that to really be able to like give a straight answer. Be like, yes, I have. But I've had like thoughts like, oh, like I look at a picture and I'll be like, oh, I look in a mirror and I'll think like I'm fat, and then like I look at a picture and after a picture during like the same day and I'm like, not. Like if I'm seeing like in some point of view from somebody else, so I'm like, is that body dysmorphia? I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to be more educated on that.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like the same way. It's just when you look in the mirror and you're like, ugh, and then the same day you're like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's like, how does that work? Is it lighting? Like,
I feel like it's something I just need to like definitely educate myself more on.
Never have I ever felt overwhelmed by stress.
I'm like always overwhelmed by stress.
Right?
That's like just like literally me on the daily.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. It's like,
I feel like especially now, just like the world is just so stressful, and like with social media and all the bad news and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, because we're trying to build a brand, it's like you're constantly learning new strategies, new things, you're making new content. It's just like it's a lot.
It's a lot. Like
it's fun. It's just like
marketing is not easy. Social media marketing is definitely not easy. And then the content creation and just like keeping community, keeping retention, stuff like that. But yeah, so that was our last one.
That was our last one.
Wow, yeah, I think that was fun.
Yay!
I feel like we're kind of doing like a rapid fire thing, as like my friend Allison would say. Yeah, well, I hope that you guys, learned a lot from us today.
And hopefully you did it along with us too.
Yeah, I guess just kind of like thinking of it, and I guess being mindful of like what we're saying, like, have I experienced this? Yeah. But okay, so thanks Ariel for joining, and never have I ever.
Yay, it was nice and fun.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is like probably the first time people are really like hearing your voice and stuff. So, and seeing you, like, oh wow. Yeah, so I had so much fun. So thanks guys for listening to this podcast episode, and stay tuned for next week.